Arthur of the Britons is a British television show about the historical King Arthur, produced by the HTV regional franchise. It consisted of two series, released between 1972 and 1973. ITV had already a reputation for entertaining historical TV shows that would display adventure and swordplay, such as The Adventures of the Scarlet Pimpernel, The Adventures of Robin Hood, The Adventures of Sir Lancelot, Ivanhoe and Sir Francis Drake. Like Richard Lionheart in the TV shows about Robin Hood and Ivanhoe, this King Arthur shows greatness by making peace between the two foremost peoples in the England of his era. The looks of King Arthur and his brother-in-arms resemble contemporary rock stars. Arthur of the Britons was broadcast repeatedly on numerous local ITV stations during the 1970s and 1980s. The theme music was by Elmer Bernstein. Plot: set in the Dark Ages, a century after the Roman withdrawal from Britain and during the Anglo-Saxon settlement of Britain. Arthur is not a glamorous king with an elaborate court. Instead, he is just a Celtic leader who installs and maintains a Celtic alliance against the Saxon invaders. He is instructed by his adoptive father Lud and assisted by Guy, a Saxon orphan reared as Arthur's brother. His greatest rival is his cousin Mark of Cornwall. The Jute chief Yorath and his daughter Rowena are in the beginning allies against the Saxons, but finally use the special position to mediate peace negotiations between the Celts and the Saxons. Cerdic, chieftain of the Saxons, is Arthur's principal counterpart who in the episode The Treaty even insults him as a man with many brothers but no father, but learns to respect him in the end. The series dispenses with the legendary Round Table and popular figures such as Merlin, Guinevere and Lancelot, and attaches no significance to magic or superstition. Neither Arthur nor his fellow Celts are at any time clad in shining armor. Arthur is once again portrayed as a skilled fighter, but especially as a cunning politician who eventually comes to good terms with the Saxons. After he has created the basics for a peaceful coexistence between his folks and the Saxons, he falls in love with a Roman princess called Benedicta who wants to live with him in Rome. But Arthur refuses to leave the land and people he loves, and she leaves along with her escort, though it is hinted that she may return. A Celtic King Arthur, while other films about him simply avoid the question of his origin and show him merely as a man of superior integrity who defends Christian Britain against heathen barbarians. This TV show sees him as one of the Britons who were already in Great Britain before the Romans, Anglo-Saxons and Normans came, and hence, a Celt depiction of Celts. The Celts are portrayed as a self-sufficient people who make their living through cattle breeding and hunting. They are very capable equestrians who can kill wild boar from horseback. Besides that, they inhabit villages that are fortified with palisades. That is how they are defined as Celts. Depiction of Saxons. The Saxons are portrayed as farmers who clear the land for cultivation of grain. They are also experienced in using wood to build ships. The villages are in the middle of the fields and they are not fortified, since they can recognize approaching enemies earlier than the Celts who live in glades. The Saxons are brave foot soldiers, but they are defeated by even a smaller number of Celts if they fight as cavalrymen. So instead of invading Britain, they just infiltrate it as clans, fighting with Celtic clans for places that suffice to make a living as farmers. Culture clash between Celts and Saxons. The Celts and Saxons are defined by their cultures, and subsequently the conflict derives from their different ways of life. The Celts feel robbed because the Saxons destroy the hunting grounds, and the Saxons react to the hostility of the Celts. It is not about Christianity, because on both sides there are Christians as well as adepts of other religions such as Mithraism. Neither is it simply a conflict between good and evil, because there are also pacifists on either side. Arthur's role in the conflict. Arthur seeks to forge an effective Celtic alliance in spite of religious differences, rivalry and sheer animosity among the leaders. He cannot trust in druids, clairvoyants or fairies because they exist in his world no more than in ours. Instead it is all political realism. Still, this Arthur is also noble, or at least fair. When Saxon children have lost the way, they will be brought back to the families by his Saxon friend Kai. When the Saxon lose the cattle because of a disease, he will offer him a part of his livestock, and when one of his allies takes Saxons as slaves, he will talk him out of it. While defending the borders of the remaining Celtic area, he prepares from a position of strength a peaceful coexistence. The TV series is composed accordingly, alternating episodes about sustaining the alliance with episodes that show Celtic-Saxon harmonization. Once Arthur has accomplished his political goals and provided the grounds for peace, he indulges himself to the pursuit of personal happiness, a unique Arthurian career without a tragic end. The French poet Chrétien de Troyes created a version of a naive, victimized King Arthur who is cuckolded by his allegedly best friend Lancelot and left by his knights who rather seek for the Holy Grail than to stand by his side while Mordred is about to become Arthur's nemesis. Films like First Knight that pick up these motifs depict Arthur as a king whose Britons fail him and who lives in a gigantic castle which must have required such a great deal of drudgery that it is hard to believe in his legendary popularity. Finally, he dies tragically. In Arthur of the Britons, the protagonist does not die, nor does he have to escape to Avalon, a Brittany in France. In the penultimate episode, which probably should have been the second season finale, under threat of attack by the Scots, Arthur comes close to securing a treaty between himself, Serdug and Yorath-the-Jute, but a carelessly placed target board results in a death, and old hostilities quickly resurface. Arthur and his men return home, disappointed, but still hopeful that one day there will be a lasting peace. Cast: Oliver Tobias, Arthur, Chief of the Celts; Michael Gothard, Kai; Jack Watson, Lud the Silver-Handed; Brian Blessed, Mark of Cornwall; Rupert Davies, Serdug, Chief of the Saxons; Georg Marischka, Yorath, Chief of the Jutes; Hela von Weitershausen, Rowena of the Jutes; Clive Revel, Rolf the Preacher; Peter Stevens, Amlod. Episodes, home video and DVD releases. In 1975, the series was edited into a 90-minute direct-to-video movie, King Arthur, the Young Warlord. The complete series was released on DVD in 2008 by Network DVD. While the movie is available in the US and the UK, the series is only available in the UK. Syndication outside UK. Arthur of the Britons was aired in Brazil as Rei Arthur, simultaneously to its original release in the UK. In France, it was Le Roi des Celtes, and in Germany, König Arthur.